Hey everyone, I am the TheChosenOneLegend here, as always joined by my co-host.
Hi, I'm Kai, also known as Fascurreyn.
And welcome back to our podcast, BunchaJokahs, where we talk all things Nintendo from the past month, and you know what, it's been kind of a quiet month now, but I suppose that's to be expected coming off of everything that was E3, right?
Yeah, I think we're still kind of riding that high a little bit, and there's been some small things this month, but overall there's not been too much. But that's okay.
Yeah, it means we might actually have a shorter video for once, and I know we say this every time, and it never ends up happening, but just gotta believe, so...
Yeah.
And although there have been not many stories, there's the ones we do have, some of them are relatively significant, so it should be a good episode. And of course we will have timestamps in the description below to hop about between different sections if you so wish. But Kai, if you're ready, we'll just get things straight started.
Alright, let's do it.
Right then, let's kick things off with our first segment of the podcast, Can't Have a Podcast Without News, baby, where we talk about all the Nintendo news that's came out over the past month, of July in this case. And, like I said, not a lot, but starting off with something pretty significant, and that is, we got our Switch Pro! Kinda. We got the Switch OLED revealed, which is essentially a new model of the main Switch that comes with a bigger OLED screen, better speakers, better kickstand, I think better storage space, and a new dock that has better LAN capabilities. Not exactly what everyone was hoping for, but Kai, what are your thoughts on this?
I don't know. I'm kind of like indifferent overall. I'm not gonna lie. I mainly play the Switch docked, so the OLED seems to really sort of favour playing handheld. So I'm just kind of like, okay, it's nice, I guess. But overall, I'm gonna be honest. I'm really not too bothered by it.
I'm completely on the exact same lines as you. It's nothing that I'm gonna get or that I think is incredibly appealing. But it's not like it's offensive either, or it's an awful idea. It's the kind of thing like, if I was getting a new Switch, if somehow my current Switch died somehow, probably during a Trine recording or something, knowing our luck. But
Yeah.
if that happened, then I would probably get a Switch OLED, because for $50 more, probably about 30 quid more. Sure, I'll take an OLED screen. They're meant to be, quite nice, the colours pop on them, so sure, I'll take it. But when I've got a perfectly functioning regular Switch, and I just spent 400 odd quid on the PS5, nah, I'm not gonna get one of these.
I think that's fair. I think it's one of those things where it's mainly just worth getting if you don't have a Switch still yet.
Yeah.
Even then, I don't know. It just seems like the thing I find weird is that we kind of already had the... What was the name of the other Switch model? The Switch Mini, right?
Switch Lite.
That's the one. That was already meant to be favoured for people who play handheld. So it's weird that they've now made another upgrade for the Switch that's also handheld. Like both so far, even though this is meant to be like a sort of a cross between playing docked and handheld, both of the upgrades to the Switch have both focused on being handheld, and I'm thinking, well, there's not a lot of balance there, but okay.
Yeah, it is interesting because, I mean, like you, I play mostly in docked. And the only games that I play in handheld are more smaller things that aren't really going to take as much. If I'm wanting a visually impressive game that's going to take the most out of power in that, I'm going to be playing on the TV, not the screen.
Right.
But I have heard some talk about the fact that this might not actually be the Switch Pro that was rumoured, and there's some sort of possibility that because of the pandemic and the chip shortage, that this is sort of what Nintendo have released as a stopgap, and that the Pro might come a few years down the line when they've got the stock up. This is just like, well, we've got some OLED screens in storage, let's just release this now, make some money from the die-hard collectors and stuff.
Yeah.
I think there's possibility
that's what people
in
are
that.
hoping is the case, where it's just this isn't
Yeah.
what we've been anticipating.
At this point, I'm not gonna lie, we don't really talk about the leaks and that too much because I just really don't care. I'm like, at this point, if they announce it, I'll take interest.
Yeah.
But there have been so many Switch Pro leaks and rumours for the past several years. It's just like, I'm just done, I don't care. But, I mean, at this point, I almost think like, if you give it 2 years, it's been 6 years, you might as well just make the successor to the Switch at that point and call it that.
Yeah.
But, we'll see. Either way, this this is probably nice for those who are into their technology or want a new Switch, but not breaking any major headlines, I don't think.
Yeah, no, not by any means.
However, what is breaking major headlines for me is our next story. Because, forget Ultimate, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl is coming out on multi-platform. A Smash clone with Nickelodeon stars, and
God.
wow. That got some traction.
Yeah,
it got a
real
lot of
popular
hype.
for a while there, yeah.
Yeah. I think people are probably overhyping it because it's not going to be Smash.
I think that's a generous way of putting it.
Yeah, it's definitely, at the very least, probably going to be unpolished. It definitely looks it. I think there is some precedent behind it possibly being good. The development team, I believe, worked on a fighting game called Slap City, I think it is, which apparently is quite good, and this is meant to use a lot of the similar mechanics. So I think there's enough there that it could be a fun enough game to play as your favourite Nickelodeon characters. Better than, like, maybe the Nicktoons Racing and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm not expecting Mozart, you know.
Yeah, it's a weird one, because, like, I've seen, you know, some people... I think overall, I should be honest, like, I think it's a good idea. I think it's fine to have, like, this sort of game. I think it's great. So there's nothing wrong with the game. And I know some people on Twitter have taken to... I don't know, I feel like people were starting to, like, at first, you know, make jokes about, oh, this is going to overtake Smash, but then some people took it a bit too seriously from a competitive standpoint. The game, from what I've seen, especially with some of the gameplay with, like, I think it was one of Patrick's command grabs or something, I don't think it's going to be clean enough to be a competitive game. But it seems alright as, like a casual thing. Not something I'm going to pick up, but it just seems nice, you know? I feel like it's been way too... I feel like for a game that's just nice, it's been quite overhyped, but it's still nice, you know?
But Kai, 2 words. Nigel Thornberry.
Yeah.
Can you dispute that? I mean...
That is a good point, actually. You do raise some good points there.
Unless he's actually the final Smash DLC character, in which case Smash still has the edge. So, fingers crossed. Yeah. But yeah, I'm a big fan of, like, I watched a lot of Nickelodeon growing up as a kid, particularly SpongeBob and that. And there's some cool details, like just a small thing I noticed. Patrick's, what appears to be, he's down air or down special. He dives downwards in an ice cream cone, which is what he uses in the episode Fry Cook Games. Yeah. So that I like that they're clearly having attention to detail. And as a Nickelodeon fan, I might have to pick this up, especially if it's not full price. It might be like a £40 game or something, I think.
Maybe.
But yeah, I'll maybe wait for reviews just in case it's a dumpster fire, which it could be.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, it seems alright. It seems alright.
It has the potential to be one of the better Smash clones, which isn't a high bar, but, you know, we can do.
The thing is, I still think Smash is, like, of course going to far out, you know, exceed it. I feel like people are overhyping it 100%. A little too much in that respect, but I just still think it'll be okay, you know? Yeah,
it could just be fun, and that's all it needs to be, really, so...
It does seem to be more of, like, a casual, you know, look at all these wacky characters type thing, which is great.
Exactly, and I'll keep an eye on who else is added. I doubt we'll get the Smash-style trailers for them, but that would be dope.
That would be great, though. That would be great.
But keeping on with the theme of Smash, actually, our next news story is kind of a smaller piece. You probably won't have much to say about this, Kai, but I wanted to shout it out, and that is that Sakuna of Rice and Ruin got some spirits added to Smash Bros.
Oh, really?
Which, yeah, they're constantly adding, you know, sort of spirit fights from other franchises. They did Astral Chain, Resident Evil, you know, and unexpectedly, Sakuna got in. And I think the main reason I wanted to bring this up is I mentioned in the previous podcast, Sakuna was actually my most wanted character to be added to the game, because I loved that game early this year. But I was fully aware that's not happening. She is not big enough. You know, it was never going to happen. But the fact they even got spirits, I just think that's really cool. Yeah, they're fun fights. They've got cool attention to detail from the games. So yeah, it's just cool to see the representation on any level from Sakuna, seeing as it was a smaller game that released not even recently or anything. It came out last year November, so
right.
I was kind of surprised by that, but it's a nice touch.
Fair enough.
I do. While we're talking about spirits, though, Kai, did you try to like collect all the spirits or anything? Have you bothered at all with anything like that?
Back on launch, before they
Yeah.
added, before they started adding them periodically, I did have it 100%ed. But then as they've
Right.
added new ones, temporary and special ones, I've not been picking them up since because I just haven't been bothered. I'll be honest.
Fair enough. I have been keeping up with them, and I've tried to get all the spirits. The thing that bothers me is when they add ones to do with a game that you have to buy the game to get the spirit.
Yeah, that's part of
It's
the reason why I've not
Yeah, and to
stayed
be
with them.
fair, they add them about the next. So far, they've been doing it like the next DLC character that comes out. They'll add any back to the regular roster, so you can get them eventually. But it's just annoying now because I just got the two that I missed, and then they added a new one for Monster Hunter Stories 2, and now I've just got this one blank space in my spirits list, which is taunting the completionist in me. It's painful, but I'll have to wait till DLC character 6 for them to add that.
Right.
Ah, it's painful. But
But
we actually have one more news story, which is a rumor. I don't really cover rumors much here, like I said earlier, but this one I thought was interesting enough and has been picked up by quite a lot of people. And that is there's a rumor of a live-action Pokemon series being added to Netflix.
oh yeah.
And I don't know, what are your thoughts about the possibility of that becoming a thing, Kai?
Well, half skeptical, as I'm sure many others are. Like this could be a terrible thing that just looks really bad. It's the Super Mario Bros. Movie over again. But, however, if it's made in the style of, for example, like Detective Pikachu, then I think it could be like amazing because I think I mean we both watched Detective Pikachu at the same place.
Yeah,
And
fantastic.
I thought that was like a really solid movie. So if it's made in that essence rather than the stereotypical Netflix version essence, then I think it could be pretty good. So we got to wait and see.
For every classic Mario movie, there's a smash hit like "Do the Mario." So maybe this is our "Do the Mario" moment again
There we go.
for Pokemon. Hopefully, I'm not a massive Pokemon fan. It's been known here. I know very little. I'm very bad. But like you said, I saw Detective Pikachu with you guys, and it was just really fun. I'm more of a Sonic fan, really, but I enjoyed it more than I enjoyed Sonic because it was just
Right.
so well done, and they really nailed the Pokemon designs. So if they can, I don't know how the licensing works between different studios making things, but if they can keep like the models they used for those Pokemon and just bring those over, that might save on the budget, and they looked
Yeah.
fantastic. So
Yeah, that'd be good.
it could be awesome. Like, what kind of, out of curiosity, assuming it's probably not Detective Pikachu related, what would you want this to be about, Kai? Like, what would you
Good
like it to be? Just a more traditional Pokemon game story, or would you want it to tell something unique?
Well, knowing Netflix editions of things, it probably wouldn't be a traditional story. I
Yeah.
think they'd go off the beaten path and make something else unique. And I have no idea what it could be. But I feel like it probably. I don't think it's going to be Detective Pikachu, but I think it'll
No.
honestly be something of a similar experience where they're just exploring and there's some kind of mystery going on still. I'm sure. I think it's going to be more of like a series where a mystery's happening than a competition. Although I'd be cool either way because if they take some of the choreography like they have from the last couple seasons of the Pokemon anime, then there's going to be some really good fights going down.
I would like to see, although I agree with you, I think it would probably be more likely and even better for them to do Detective Pikachu style, more of its own story. I
Yeah.
would like to see some traditional Pokemon battling in there. That would be cool to see because we got like a slight tease of it in the opening of Detective Pikachu, where
Yeah.
he catches a Pokemon with a Pokeball, and we see a quick split second of a stadium battle. But if it's something along the lines of like the Galar battles in these big stadiums, and you see something like that could be awesome on live action. So
Yeah, it would look sick.
if it's true, hopefully it turns out good and doesn't end up supposedly trashed by Nintendo like the Zelda series did.
Yeah, I don't mind what they do as long as it's good. As long as they do it well, I don't mind.
Yep, let's be optimistic here. It
Yeah,
could be garbage.
let's see.
Netflix haven't got a good track record, but
Yeah.
let's be optimistic. But like I said, it's been a pretty slow news month, so that brings us to the end of the news for the month. I mean, there's been a few other things that, like new Pokemon Snap, but neither of us have played that game, so we won't have anything to say there. But what we will have to say about is the games we've been playing. So let's move straight on to our final segment of the podcast, Games Time, baby, where we talk about the different games we've been playing. And Kai, do you want to start us off? What have you played in July?
Okay, so the first thing I'll talk about is I suppose I'll do this one. Okay, so I just want to talk about in general about the SNES games thing on the Switch. I don't remember the name of it right now. But
SNES Online.
That's the one. Yeah, I've been playing some of that in my own time, 2 games in particular, and I think it's been pretty good. The other ones I've played very briefly are, I tried the Puyo game on there, which is fun, but it's all in Japanese and very difficult because I'm bad at the game. That was an experience. I tried Metroid, the Super Metroid that's on there.
Ooh,
that was pretty fun. It's the first time I've ever properly played a Metroid game, so that was actually kind of good. I was trying to get myself hyped up for Dread.
That's a good plan. I mean, I'm intending to, once I finished my current slate, which I'll get to in a bit, I do intend to replay all of the Metroid games. I plan to buy Zero Mission, which is a remake of 1, on my Wii U. Then I've got Return, Super Metroid, and Fusion, and then I can just go straight on to Dread. So,
yeah.
Super Metroid, what I've played of it, I've never finished it, but I've got quite far in it before, and it is a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is. Apart from that, I've also played, like, a bit of Super Punch-Out! But one of the main ones I've played is Kirby's Dream Course. Now, this is a game I've talked a little bit about before and elsewhere, and it's just like a really fun game. I really think it's a great concept. I think like just it's a fun game to play. It's got quite a bit of technical skill to it. It's it's one that you can play multiplayer as well, and there's like whole new areas they make for it. I just think overall it's a pretty neat game, so I went through and 100% of that.
I did enjoy beating you at that on stream, live on stream. That was quite entertaining.
I've done my training arc now. I've done my training arc for when we do that again.
I mean, that was my first game, Kai, so you know what? What will happen on my second game, who knows? You can only go downhill from here is the answer. So.
I suppose so, yeah. I've been practicing and I've managed to get some medals on each of the courses and that sort of thing, so...
If I just don't accept your challenge, I have a 100% win rate, and we'll just stick it with that, so...
God damn it. Okay.
It's fun though, it's fun.
It is, yeah. The only other one I've been mainly playing on there is I went through and completed Super Mario Kart because I saw it was on there. I thought,
right.
Why not? I might as well. Yeah, that was good. I just went through, I completed all the courses on all of the speeds. And, man, it's a janky game.
Oh, it is. But it's more fun than I thought it would be, despite the jank.
Yes, it is.
It's actually quite enjoyable, especially compared to... I played the Game Boy Advanced game. I got it on the 3DS Ambassador program, Super Circuit, which has it's got that similar sort of style as the original SNES game. Yeah. Except for some reason it controls so much worse. It's really awful. I don't know if it's just me, but it controls like garbage. So I had no expectations playing SNES, but somehow the original is just better in every way. So except courses, but gameplay wise.
Yeah, it was good though. I don't know if there's much else I have to say about it, but the game was odd in some of its controls, but it was still a fun game. So yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
But Kai, SNES Online is garbage because they haven't added Earthbound yet.
I've got Earthbound on that virtual thing that they made like a couple years back. I've played it on there.
SNES Mini?
Yeah, that's the one. I played it on there a couple years back. Got to 4-side and gave up.
Aww. Maybe one day it will be added. For now, we get Jelly Boy, and you know what? That looked kind of funny, so I might have to try it.
Jelly Boy, let's go.
All the way. Maybe he'll be the next Smash character instead of Nigel Thornberry, so
that's the dream.
All the good options.
That is the dream.
Dream big. But as for me, I've mostly been sticking with what happened last month for me, and that is I finally finished Final Fantasy VII Remake. And also, lumped together with that, I played and beat the DLC expansion Intermission, which focuses around the character Yuffie. And nice. I already said a lot last month. It's so fantastic. It's just so good. in the ending of the game, of course, I'm not going to go into spoilers or anything, but it is very interesting, and it's already got me looking up the lore videos, and it's just this whole rabbit hole now, which I'm eternally stuck in. But there's a lot of interesting stuff happening. The characters were all fantastic, and the gameplay was just completely solid throughout. And then that continued into the new Yuffie expansion, which they just nailed her playstyle. What they did in the game was really make every character feel completely unique, and that just continued into the DLC, because how she sort of works is that she throws her she has like a little, throwing star kind of thing. I forgot the word for it.
Shuriken?
That she can throw into yes, that's the word. And she can throw it into enemies and then use sort of ninjutsu magic stuff on enemies from a distance as well. And it's very rapid fire paced, and it just feels fantastic. It takes a bit of getting used to compared to the main game, because like I said, it's a unique style, but once it clicks with you, you really get into it, and the story is just a really nice addition, fleshing out her character, and there's a lot of hitting hard moments. It really goes all in. There's even a mini game which I lost a few hours into, because that's how Final Fantasy VII be, or Final Fantasy games. It's not quite cards, but the Fort Condor mini game did take up a lot of my time.
Okay.
But just in general, man, I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. You got to get on this, Kai. It's just such
I will eventually.
And I didn't call this out enough last time, I realised, but the music. It's so good,
isn't it? Yeah.
The way they've remastered the old tracks, which are already fantastic, and just brought them up to a new level, plus the new tracks. I could fanboy about this forever, and I'm not going to get anywhere, but basically it's just good. It's just really good, and I was glad to see that the DLC both continued that, and even, gives you something more to hold on to until we finally get part 2, which may be in a century on the PS6, but either way, I'm looking forward to it. I'm all on board for the ride now. I'm just gonna, after this, I'm just gonna go back to listening to the music on Spotify again. So,
do you have like a favourite character so far?
Oh, that's a tough one. I mean, actually, I really liked Yuffie in the expansion. She was always a really funny character. She's very much an anime character, I suppose, is a way to put it. She's very exaggerated and goofy.
Basically, Tatsu. When you think about it.
Yeah, Yuffie is Tatsu. You heard this here first. I hope Oliver's not listening to this, because he might come and hunt you down and kill you. But let's just say that, yeah. But they don't try to cook her every chapter, so it's better. Okay. It's better that way. But I'm not sure I could say she's my favourite character. Otherwise, maybe Barrett. He's just really funny as well. He's got a lot of great lines. And one thing they both do, which I love, is that both of them, after beating a battle, will sometimes just sing the Final Fantasy VII victory music themselves. They'll just go da 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 da. It's a nice touch, but it's full of those really nice touches. So it's, if you haven't played this game yet, go on and get it. That means you, Kai.
I do have it on the PS4. I'm waiting.
One day.
It'll come
eventually. But I've just really enjoyed my time with it, and I'm currently onto Skyward Sword, but I'll save that for next month, I think, when I've completed the game. But Kai, have you got anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, I've got one more. I've been waiting to talk about this one for a couple months, actually. I want to talk a little bit about World's End Club, which is...
Ooh!
So, yeah, for reference,
Did you get that?
No, well, here's the thing about the game is...
Okay.
It's hardly a game. So essentially, I did a little research to see whether I should get it or not, and I found out that it's like 95% a visual novel. There's very little gameplay. So the thing about the game is the gameplay is like side scroller, and each character has like a unique ability that they unlock. However, the gameplay is not very good. I'm starting off with a negative. Is the gameplay is very... Oh, no. It's only like one step above Balan Wonderworld's clunkiness of gameplay, which isn't great. It's only just about... It's really clunky 2D gameplay, but luckily there's hardly any of it. It's basically just like a visual novel type game. And
Yeah.
so what I did in the end is I was like, you know what, I'll just watch like a one of the silent walkthroughs on YouTube because it's basically the same experience, but I don't have to use clunky controls. And man, yeah, it's really good. For I've looked through all of it. I've watched through it all multiple times now already, and it's just the
Damn.
game is a wonder. So the whole premise is originally all the kids are like locked in this underwater theme park, and that's what was originally the marketing, and it was called Death March Club. But then the marketing changed when the demo came out, and people realised actually it's not like a game where they have to kill each other. It's a game where they're all friends and exploring. They're exploring like a desolate Japan where everything's overgrown and no one's there. And their whole goal is that they're trying to get from Kagoshima, which is southwest Japan, all the way to Tokyo. And
Right.
I've just got to say, like, the story is phenomenal. So there's these 12 characters, and they all have their own arcs. They're all really well designed characters. They were designed by the Pokemon Sword and Shield designers.
Oh, nice. You can sort of see that in the style a bit from the trailer.
You can, yeah. So they're really good, but the characters themselves, their personalities are like it's one of the best casts of characters I've ever seen. They're just really like enjoyable. The plot, it's like a mystery-esque plot, so I really enjoyed figuring all that out. And it seems like a kid's game, and a lot of it does seem like that vibe. But then occasionally it hits you with like some really, really deep, dark stuff. Just out of no, like completely out of left field, it hits you with some stuff. I'll say that without like spoiling much. But it's a phenomenal story, is what I'll say. On top of that, I've listened to the OST for the game pretty much every day since I watched the playthrough a couple months ago. It's a really good soundtrack.
So that's your Final Fantasy VII Remake soundtrack then.
Yeah, in particular, I think the Go-Getters theme, which is like the main/ending theme of the game, is really good. But just overall, like it's a really good soundtrack. Also, the camping theme is one that I think is quite popular. But it's just like a really fun game, loads of plot twists and charming characters and stuff. If you ever like don't know what to watch, then I would recommend honestly just like watching a playthrough of this game on YouTube and experiencing it that way, because then you don't have to pay 40 quid and you don't have to use clunky controls while still getting the full story. But overall, really
Fair
solid
play.
game. Favourite characters are probably one called Jenu, who she's one of the more mature ones of the group because of course they're all kids. So she's got some really good stuff. And then Anarchy is my favourite, who's got phenomenal voice acting. Like some of the best voice acting I've ever heard, and a pretty good arc too. So I think that's everything I have to say about it. But overall, it's just it's such a good game. I've been waiting to talk about this one for a long time.
That's good to hear, because I definitely, when that game was announced, there was definitely some sort of trepidation about it, I guess, where
Yeah.
people were a bit unsure. And although it turns out maybe the gameplay wasn't so good, it's good. It's nice to see that it at least hits it home in the story. I definitely think that kind of thing, when it's usually real, like more friendly, it definitely means them serious moments hit harder. It's a very
Yes.
interesting tactic when stories use that. I mean, just going back to Final Fantasy VII Remake, like I said about Yuffie, she's such a really goofy character, but that means whenever there's a serious moment, it hits you so much harder. So contrast can be really effective in stories. So that's cool to see it uses it.
Yeah, and there's not that much gameplay either, so it's not like, oh, you have to get through all these boring long sections. No, they're all very easy and very clunky, so it's just like, it doesn't... And it's again, I think the game total is probably no more than 15 or 20 hours, and only maybe 1 or 2 hours of that tops is actually gameplay, so it's not even like a worry, really. It's something you can skip past entirely. So,
That's cool.
yeah.
Solid stuff all around. Have you got anything else you want to bring up this month, Kai?
No, I think that's it for now.
Yeah, it's been pretty quiet, but you know, we're I imagine we'll start getting some stuff soon towards the end of the month. I know you've got Ace Attorney coming out. It's already out now,
Yes.
which I know you're
Yeah,
looking
it's
forward
out.
to. So Yeah.
Oh, I do
damn.
have one very
Time's
quick
weird.
thing. I know no one's going to be interested in this, but
Go for
Inazuma
it.
11 Go Galaxy has now been localized. So search that online if anyone wants to
Right.
play that game. I don't think anyone cares, but I just wanted to say that too.
But Kai, when are they going to release Inazuma 12? That's what I'm waiting for.
Eventually, I'm sure.
Maybe Japan only.
Yeah, it will be. You know, it's level 5.
Oh no. Let's not get you upset again.
No.
But that does bring us to the end of the podcast. There we go. 30 minutes. Not too shabby.
Yeah.
So thank you all so much for watching this video, and of course thank you to Kai for talking with me about games.
Yes,
Where can
thank you,
people
Kai.
find you at?
You can find Kai at... Oh, wait, that's me. You can find him at twitch.tv/Fascurreyn. As of right now, I'm still currently playing through Miitopia in sort of the later stages of the game. So, yeah, be on the lookout for that. And then shortly after that, I'll be playing Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. So if you like those types of games, come in and watch. If you don't like them, come in and watch. Anyway.
And if you come on the Saturday, maybe you'll get me and Kai doing a dueling Kirby's Dream Course again.
Maybe.
If I decide to dignify him with a battle, but of course we've also got to thank Sam, our graphic designer, who works hard on all the thumbnails and the logo and all the channel graphics you see. So of course a big thank you, Sam. Get some rest, dude. And thank you to the audience again for watching. Of course you can find us here on YouTube if that's where you're watching. We also have audio-only versions of the podcast on Spotify and Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, most places you can find podcasts, really. And, yeah, sometimes we do extra videos too, like special discussions. We'll have another one out this week. And gameplay series, which, who knows, we might end up doing another one of those somewhere down the line. So, give us a little subscribe and check us out, maybe. Nearly at 100, we're getting there. But that does bring us to the end again, so thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Goodbye.
Bye.